Now, I think it must have been at least 5 years ago where I don't report spam. I don't go through, you know, and do spam reports. I don't know, I just don't feel right in doing it. But I do, Google does have a thing at the bottom of the results. I don't even know if it's still there. I think it is, where it says, you know, are you dissatisfied with these results? And so I would go in there every now and then, years ago, and I would, you know, put this search in, and I would say, you know, there's four sites showing up in the top 10. Look at, they all have the same phone number, but nothing's happened. That was 5 years ago. Maybe a spam report would do something, I don't know. But, you know, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if Google cares or not, or maybe there's just not enough companies selling this stuff, so it's not competitive, but I don't think that's the problem. So, you know, given this, it certainly seems like this should be the way all companies do SEO, right? I mean, I suppose if you believe that the ends justify the means. But personally, I'd be reluctant to do business with a company like this if they have this attitude. You know, I know in the limo example that Pauline, you know, went out of her way to find a company that wasn't this company. But, you know, the average person doesn't know this, that wouldn't even notice or pay attention to it. You know, she knows enough about the industry, so to her she knew it was kind of sleazy. But, you know, most people don't know that or think about it. And then I think that's where these companies justify it to themselves, or whoever they're justifying it to, that, you know, they justify that it's okay, and they're making money. But, you know, in the end, it comes down to your own sense of ethics, you know, and your own ideas on what's right and wrong. So, you know, while you might not want to do something tricky because you're afraid you might get banned, you know, obviously it might be able to work for 5 years for you or more. And you know, I really doubt that balloon company is losing any sleep wondering if Google's going to catch them at this point. I really doubt it. I don't think they're worrying about it. So, you know, would you do it if you knew you could get 5 years of great listing for some good keywords? It's a tough choice. You know, we all need money. We all have to feed our families and pay for colleges and new bedroom sets, which I just got. You know, but whether you get caught or not really shouldn't be the motivating factor. Most people say they're not going to do it because they're afraid they're going to get caught. But you know, I just showed you, you might not get caught. Probably you won't get caught. But you know, you might. But that's, to me, that's not the reason. It's the very fact that it's not a good business practice. You know, it's tricking consumers. Is that the way you want to do business? I don't think. Do you really want to go that route? Let's see where we're at here. Oh, we're almost up to this. On the other hand, you know, search engine spammers, which I call people like this balloon company, you know, they'll tell you all's fair in business. It's, you know, business is like war, and that, you know, what they've done is perfectly fair. You know, they just what did they do? They just put up a bunch of websites. It's not, they didn't make Google index them. They're not making Google rank them. That's Google's doing. So, you know, it actually does make sense. It's not, like I said, it's not illegal. One of the more outspoken proponents on Black Hat SEO, you know, he really believes in this business as war model. Mikkel Demib-Stensen, I'm not sure how you say his last name. He's Danish. I don't know if you've heard of him. I actually know him very well. He's a very nice gentleman. I spent time in Germany when I was there with his family. He's very nice, but we have different views on SEO and spamming. And one of he's quoted as having said, "I reserve the right to fight really hard as a marketer and SEO to win the game. My job as an SEO is not to create a better web, certainly not the better web Google wants." And I, of course, disagree wholeheartedly with that. You know, to me, I wonder what a company who doesn't mind tricking the search engines, you know, how are they going to treat me as a customer? Maybe they're not going to mind tricking me as a customer, or you know, if they're shady characters in their SEO, maybe they're shady characters in other aspects of their business. You know, it's likely that it's built into their corporate culture even. So, you know, I'd rather not do business with, I'd rather not do business with shady characters or those who view business as war. As search marketers, we really wield a lot of power. While it's Google's responsibility to sift through the results and show the best ones, it's their duty to filter out the bad stuff. But as we've seen, they don't always get it right. Smart search engine spammers, go to the next one, can beat out Google anytime they want. They can. It may not last, but they can beat them for a time. They've been playing this cat and mouse game for years, since the very first internet search engine was born. I've seen it through all the years. Spammers spam search engines. Search engines adjust the algorithms. Spammers find new spam, and on and on and on, the cat and mouse game. Does anyone think that Google would have to be changing their algorithm as much as they do if it wasn't for spammers? I don't think so. There'd be hardly anything to change. What's relevant would be relevant. There'd be nothing to tweak anymore. The best, most naturally relevant pages would rise to the top with a good relevancy algorithm out there. Without the search engine spammers to muck up the results. As search marketers and as searchers as well, because we all are searchers, it's really in our best interests, I think, to try and not game the system. The search engines want to find the most relevant results, and excuse me, I messed up here. So it's in our best interest to make our sites and those of our clients the most relevant to the search query at hand. I don't think people should be afraid of trying to compete fairly in the search results, without needing to dominate all 10 positions. By providing the best thing, by providing a unique selling proposition, people are going to check out many of the top 20 sites, and your ideal is to keep the people there. So your goal is to first get people to come to the site, get your rankings up there, get people, get a top result, get people to come. But beyond that, you've got to keep the searcher on the website. Make sure that you have exactly all the information that they need there. That make sure it's comprehensive. You don't want them going out to check the other results. You want to keep them on your site. Show them you have everything that they need, and then treat them the way they want to be treated with your online customer service as well as your offline customer service if they call you. Show them how you go above and beyond the call of duty with your website and with your company as a whole. And when you do all this, it's self-reinforcing, because the better you make your website, the more well-known it's going to become, the higher it'll show in the search results then, because Google will have to show it, because if your website's becoming popular and more popular, it's going to get more links. They have to show it at that point. And you'll make it better for search engines, you'll make it better for people, and you'll make more sales from it too. As a search marketer in 2010 and beyond, you're responsible for a lot more than rankings these days. While it was a lot easier to do SEO back in the 1990s, it was great when all we had to do was show rankings reports for the clients, and that was where our responsibility ended. I love that. I was like, but we're not getting any sales. Oh, well, I didn't know you want sales. My job is to get rankings. We can't do that anymore. You really can't. Those days are gone and they're not coming back. We really have to be usability consultants, conversion experts. We have to work all that stuff into our repertoire of what we do for clients. We really have to know what works in a website and what doesn't. You can't just do rankings anymore. And really all the rankings in the world aren't going to matter if your site's not the one that should be ranked, but only got there through tricks. It's your job, and I think really your duty to provide value as well as a great user experience. That's it. Thanks. Yeah, we probably have tons of time for questions. We can also talk about if What's your favorite SEO myths or boondoggles? Anybody have any? Yes, yeah.
Yeah, hi. Alex Landon, PR on the ground. I do a lot of SEO. I've been doing it since 1998, and I've seen, just like you said, I've seen it all.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, I had a client the other day who wanted my services, and it's the same thing with just about every single client. They'll come to me after they went to someone else.
Yep.
First of all, their website is not search engine friendly. It's a horrible website. And they'll tell me, well, what will you charge me to do SEO? Most of the time, 90% of the time, I won't even touch them.
Yeah.
I'll tell them, first of all, you have black hat marketing techniques. I'm not even going to deal with it. Go to someone else. I don't want to take your money. But most of the time, I convince my client to redo their website, mainly WordPress. Redo your website, and then let me optimize it. Because if you have a website that is, let's say it was built 7 years ago, 5 years ago, and you want search engine optimization, you're not going to get those results unless you do illegal. Is that something that...
It's really common, yeah. I mean, so much of SEO is built into the website and redoing it, and that's the problem where I think some of these SEO companies that are doing poor jobs is because they either don't know how to do that, or a lot of times the clients just don't want to pay for that either. But yeah, we see that all the time too. I mean, even if it's, sometimes the whole site doesn't need to be redone, but you just need to fix the site architecture, the navigation, or they're burying pages. But it's such a key point, and it's hard and it's expensive sometimes, and so that's definitely we see that a lot. We have a new client that's their whole website was just horrible too, and that's I kept pushing, we can't help you unless you do this, and he had like duplicate content, the whole thing, and finally he came back like a month later. He's like, okay, I'll do whatever you want, and he's hopefully seeming to be a good client, but it's tricky.